same Wilma, new station, beginning in April.
Dick Russ, weekdays at noon on Cleveland's own Newscenter 8.
If you're working now, you'll retire later. So start saving now with U.S. savings bonds. Get them where you work or bank.
U.S. savings bonds.
Neil Zerker's Just Around the Corner, Thursdays at 5 on Newscenter 8.
TV8 would like to extend our thanks to Cleveland's Own for your overwhelming response to our first issue of Cleveland's Own TV8 magazine. Remember to use and refer to your magazine for great information like the area calendar of events, Cleveland Crunch and Lumberjack schedules, and especially the values brought to you by your local area businesses like BP Oil, WQAL, Ponderosa, Best Cuts, and Subway. And congratulations to all the TV8 Magazine Olympic Sweepstakes winners. TV8 Magazine, another way we're taking care of Cleveland's Own.
From Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom, it's 31 degrees at 11:30, and in the news, a former employee of the city of Independence is brought up on charges of prostitution. Tanya Harding gets a hero's welcome. We'll tell you where that happened at noon, and also preview the Grammy Awards you'll see tonight right here on TV8. Hope to see you in half an hour.
Coming up next on Newscenter 8, accused murderers all crowd a Cleveland courtroom as they get closer to going on trial for the killing of a man and a woman in front of a little boy.
A former worker for the city of Independence is arraigned on charges of prostitution, among others.
And what to do if your front and backyards have been wrecked by the severe winter weather.
And while we have plenty of bright sunshine here up along the north coast, it's snowing in Columbus. Storm to our south, but it won't bother us. We'll give you the details.
Hope you'll stay with us for Newscenter 8 next.
From Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom, it's 29 degrees at 11:30, and in the news, a lower phone bill for all of us in Ohio. Ameritech is being told they charge too much. We'll have the story at noon. Eat right, get enough exercise, and take a pill. The latest in diet research, also when we see you in half an hour.
Coming up next on Newscenter 8, he was caught red-handed with the goods, and now a brazen thief is going to jail for a long time.
A teenage girl who was switched at birth has run away from home and away from all the publicity about her.
And at the Grammy Awards, much more than just winners and losers. We'll have a review.
And hey, we started off with a bright sunshiny day, but now the clouds are moving in. But just how much snow will we see? It all depends where you live. We'll tell you about it.
And 150 ways to make meatloaf, all next on Newscenter 8.
From Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom, it's 29 degrees at 11:30, and in the news, some flights have resumed at LaGuardia Airport in New York after a jet came within 4 feet of crashing into the bay last night. 4 murder suspects are in jail, one still on the loose in Cleveland, all wanted for a triple homicide on West 46th. More news in half an hour.
And coming up next on Newscenter 8, 100 people come within 4 feet of disaster in a New York airport. Their plane skids off the runway in a snowstorm.
4 accused killers in jail, 1 still on the loose. All suspects in a triple murder on West 46th Street.
And in medical news today, new hope for people who suffer the pain of cancer.
And we were very fortunate and happy with the way the forecast turned out, near a flake of snow. But what about this afternoon? The sun is about 10 miles that away, and it's moving in.
Newscenter 8 at noon is next. Stay with us.
From Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom, it's 37 degrees at 11:30, and in the news, Tanya Harding is recovering from an attack. Somebody pushed her to the ground as she was walking through a public park in Oregon last night. The space shuttle Columbia is now in orbit, carrying experiments from Cleveland. All the news in half an hour. We'll see you then.
Coming up next on Newscenter 8, Tanya Harding is attacked in a park in Portland, Oregon. Somebody hurt her enough that she had to go to the hospital.
A white couple told by the court they could not adopt a black baby is appealing the decision today. We'll have the latest.
And the space shuttle, chock full of experiments from Cleveland, is up in the sky.
And we have an awful lot of low clouds here in the front yard. We can barely see Lake Erie in the background, but we have some good news, some slightly drier air moving in for the weekend.
Hope you'll stay with us for Newscenter 8 next.
Dick Russ, weekdays at noon on Cleveland's own Newscenter 8.
Coming up next on Newscenter 8, the city of Painesville getting back to normal today after the weekend of the Ku Klux Klan rally, an event that was mostly peaceful.
Frank
Sinatra out of the hospital after collapsing on stage during a concert last night.
And how to get things for free. Things like vacations, airplane rides, and cruises.
The Senior Report, only on Cleveland's own News Center 8.
From Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom, it's 34 degrees at 11:30. And in the news today, the price of a stamp will most likely be going up to 32 cents. President Clinton has a new chief White House lawyer. He is 76-year-old Lloyd Cutler, who did the same job for Jimmy Carter. All the news in a somewhat wintry forecast at noon.